anyways, I met this buyer, right? And so I was like, I'm trying to help Moody dispo this deal he has in Bridgeport, which is like not that good of a deal. But like I think I have a buyer for it. So anyways, so I found this guy and I was like, hey, how you doing? I met up at this event, we're shaking hands and everything. He's like, yeah, so you have any buildings that you're looking to wholesale? And I was like, actually, it's funny you said, we're starting to get into commercial, we're starting to do some bigger assignments. And he's like, great. He's like, anything 50 plus, 100 even better, I will buy it even if it's over asking price, like overvalued. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, me and my partners are really looking to buy anything, and especially Hartford, New London, Groton, anything you guys have that's a big apartment building,
So he loves
we'll
the
buy
hood.
it. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, we just bought 50 units in Hartford, and he's like, we're not doing anything. We're just going to let our cash sit there. And I was like, all right. I was like, say no more. So I literally the day after I went on. It's funny. I had a call with Crexy, and you probably heard of Crexy. Turns out, so this guy cold called me from their platform because I'm a member on it, and he was like, "Hey, are you still investing?" I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" He's like, "So what we offer now is we offer like seller information, like personal contact information of people who own LLCs." Which is powerful because you can find their LLC and then you can find their contact information. And if you know anybody who bought in 2020 or like 2019, they bought in 5 to 7 year notes. A lot of those notes are going to come due, and they bought at 2%, 3%. So those notes are going to be coming due very, very soon. So they're either going to be underwater,
I love it.
right? They're either going to be underwater, or they're going to have to sell.
Want to get rid of it.
Exactly, or they're going to try and refi out, and they're not going to be able to do it. They're going to like cash.
Numbers don't make sense. Sure.
So they're going to want to sell. So so what I did is I pulled like a boatload of like targeted lists that I think are that's my pop socket. That I think are targeted at least, and we're going to start calling these like commercial sellers to see if listen. What our script is, hey, listen. We did some research. We know your note's coming due. Are you going to refinance? What's your exit? And we're just going to let it sit. And if somebody's like, if I think about selling, then I'm going to call myself, and then we're going to start putting together some more commercial deals. Cool. So that's where we've been kind of pivoting recently.
I love it.
That's the goal.
Cool. I just stick to residential. So all my properties, all the deals I've done have been either like 2 or 3 families, and then just like single family properties as well. Commercials, like I know commercial, but just growing where I am right now, I'm still kind of taking off.
Yeah.
So I have 8 deals in escrow right now on my own, which they're all, I think I have 1 duplex and one single family.
Yeah.
So
that's real.
Yeah. Got you. That's a great transition. What are your strategies for finding deals?
Yeah, all my deals have been from pre-foreclosures. So I've done 16 or 17, and they've all been from pre-foreclosures. So we have a specific sales process because these pre-foreclosures getting hit up nonstop, left and right.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, hey, do you want an offer in your house? They're like, hey, like I see you're in foreclosure. Can I buy your fucking house? And like these people have heard this over and over and over again. It's just overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you've heard this shit, the same things for 3-4 months, 5 months, 6 months, like Connecticut foreclosures in Connecticut, they take a minute. Dude.
They take a long time.
They take a minute. They take a minute, and they're in the same shit over and over and over again. Like, what do I do to be different? So I contracted a lady yesterday in New Haven. And the big thing, I come to her door, I'm like, hey, and I door knock, right? That's been mainly how I've gotten most of my deals, but I'm starting to grow like more virtual as well, where I have cold callers and I'm growing a team and all that stuff. But she's like, yeah, I don't want to sell my house. I'm like, great. Because I come to the door, I'm like, hey, notice the bank's giving you a hard time. Is there anything I could do to help? She's like, well, I don't want to sell my house and everyone's looking to buy my house. I don't really know what to do. This was 2 months ago. I went through her options. That's what I do. I just go over options with homeowners. And that's how I kind of structure my business, where it's like, yeah, we just go over options. Some are internal with us and some are external, right? The internal ones with us are just happen to be you selling your house, essentially. And the cut it chase be very vague. And I ran her through her options. She had nothing on the table, but she's like, she wasn't ready to come to terms yet that she couldn't save the house. So playing the long game, try to stay in touch with her. She went ghost on me for a little bit. I knocked her door yesterday. We have a great conversation.
Yeah.
And sales, and you guys know this as well, especially if you're doing direct to seller, sales is what's most important. Learning how to sell. And selling, there's a misconception around salespeople in general that it's been, or that it is like, I'm forcing you, I'm manipulating you to do this, X, Y, Z. The reality is it's just you asking people the right questions and good questions to lead them to the answer. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm asking you a question to make you question your own logic to get you to the answer. So I'm just asking her questions, and she's like, yeah, I don't really see a realistic possibility where I could keep this place. Because she's telling me, she's like, yeah, I'm getting older. My health is in bad shape. It's just a lot. Like I'm having a hard time keeping this place, and this is all stressing me out. And I asked her, like, realistically, Penny, do you realistically feel that in the situation you are right now with the foreclosure coming up, you have a realistic scenario to keep your house? And I want you to be honest with me. She's like, no. I'm like, and on top of that, you're telling me that you are struggling with getting up the stairway. It's a 2-story house. She's like, getting up the stairs to get to my bedroom, right? You're using a walker. It's just a lot for you to do all that stuff. Do you really feel that's something you want to put yourself in going forward? And she's like, no, not at all. Just asking questions like that. I'm not telling her that she shouldn't do this. I'm not telling her that she should do that, but just asking the right questions. And she came to terms when I first talked to her. I promise I'm getting somewhere. When I first talked to her, she's like, no, I'm not selling my house. I'm staying here. Like, she's lived there for 40 fucking years. She got married in her fucking living room. It's like, I'm not selling my house. Like, I'm staying here. Now it's like, yeah, I'm going to sell my house. Like, and she wants to work with me. So, and it was her 60th birthday too. So I was like, where do you want me to grab you dinner? Because she was like alone, and she's a very nice lady too. And it was her 60th birthday. And I just grabbed her dinner. I was like, it's your 60th birthday. I'm helping you with the sale of your house. Like, what can I do for you? Like, you're spending your 60th birthday alone because your husband died and like he was the world to you. Like, the least I could do is just buy you dinner. Yeah. Right. So that's what I've been doing, where most of these people, they hear the same shit over and over again. Like, I want to buy, like, can I buy your house? Can I get an offer on your house? And even when I was fucking there, in the meantime, while I was in her fucking meeting, somebody else came to her door, didn't even knock the door. They left a little fucking thing on the door with a actual contract in the fucking like envelope. So like that's what people do. It's like that's crazy. They're too scared to like knock the door. Like I go up there, I'm knocking doors. Like it was scary, dude. Like like especially like we're all like, I assume like we're all like right leaning for the most part, but like I hate door knocking doors where like it's a big like a lot of Trump signs and like a lot of shit, because that guy is either going to be a hard ass or the nicest person in the fucking world. You don't know which one. Yesterday, so I'm training this kid. He's 18 as well. I door knock, so we're going door knocking together. He's just listening in like how it goes. And the last door I knocked with him, the guy was like a complete hard ass. He's like, "What you want?" Like he came out all aggressive and stuff, and I kind of calmed him down. And he's like, "Look, you're a young kid. Right? I'm not going to be like, if you were anybody else, I'd probably beat your ass, but I can tell you have good intentions." It's like, I've been threatened. There's been a guy who walked out with a gun on his hip. Like there's been encounters, and I've knocked 1,100, 1,200 doors. Like I've knocked a lot. So you meet a lot of different faces, but if you're willing to put the work in and do what's right, again, I do a service for these homeowners. I'm helping them out. And sometimes they can keep their house, and it's like, you need help just getting the modification. I'm more than happy just to put you in the right direction. But we still do. My average deal is like 60 grand, which is a lot, but it's like, you're helping these homeowners out. You're solving big problems. And that's what's been working for me, where just doing pre-foreclosures, learning a process that works for me and just doing it over and over again, where I can consistently close with my output 2 to 3 deals a month that are big. And then as I continue to grow, it's just going to grow from there.
So what would you say? How many doors, like in just a door knocking strategy, how many doors per contract?
It depends on what type of data. So I kind of dumb it down to good and I'm good with my KPIs too. Yeah. So it's either good or bad foreclosure data. The good shit that's like at a good point in the stage, 1 to 60. Really? 1 to 60 doors. So I can knock 60 doors in a weekend and get a contract if I knock good data. It's just sometimes in each area there's probably only like 300, 400 good doors out there in quotation marks, where you can do that, and I could get hot and lock up a couple deals. But if I'm talking like regular pre-foreclosures, just general, like anywhere in the process, 1 to 100, maybe like 1 to 120, somewhere in that range. Like, and that's me being pretty good. Yeah, like I've been doing this for a little bit. I have a very articulate sales process. Yeah, just if I'm knocking random pre-foreclosures, 1 to 120. But if you're new to this, I'd say if you knock 150, 200 doors, you get a deal. Okay, and you could do that in 2 or 3 weekends. Yeah. So I only door knock on weekends, not weekdays.
Smart.
Yeah, everyone's home.
Yeah, it was like weekdays is tough. We used to have Adam out on weekdays, and he was getting no responses. So it's rough.
Was he door knocking pre-foreclosures too?
So we report door knocking pre-foreclosures from PropStream. So I found out PropStream's data terrible. This is before. Dude, I
can help you guys out with this, because I paid for a data scraper, like a bot. Yeah. To take all the data from the judicial website. Yeah. And I have it like every Friday morning. I get all the foreclosures in the state, like a huge Excel spreadsheet. Yeah. And there's like little sections too where I can see exactly like where they are in the process. So like the complaint was filed here. They've had this filed then or this filed then. And it's like laid out to a T.
Yeah.
Where I know like I could just filter it a little bit. Okay, these are all the good doors, and it takes me
Yep.
5-10 minutes to pull good data.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
I
just
just
wanna-
want to have my VA doing that.
Yeah.
No, dude, I
Smart.
Checking through all the judicial websites.
I paid like a fucking guy from Tunisia on Upwork. Great guy too. I can connect. He's very good. Paid him like $300 for this bot. I have another one he's working on for $250. I want another one. I'll pay him like a couple $100 as well. It's like, and they're cheap, bro. Like these people from like on Upwork, they do a lot of them do a really good fucking job.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're cheap.
Yeah.
That's because, again, $600 isn't a lot to us, but it's
Yeah.
like that's a lot. To
That's
them.
life changing
That-
for them. Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
like,
It's a lot of
their
money.
cost of living so low, so
Mhm.
like that's why like globalization's pretty good, I think. And yeah, so I have a few more. I can connect you with him too, but basically it's just a bot that goes in and I've seen it work too. It just manually goes into the judicial website. After like 30 minutes, it gets everything, and I get an Excel spreadsheet every Friday morning with everything.
Smart.
That's pretty cool.
That's
It's
pretty
good.
cool.
I want to interject
like
with
that.
a quick point. I think it would make for a good snippet. You mentioned you scrape pre-foreclosure. What are some other forms of distress, and why do you specifically go for pre-foreclosure?
Well, because pre-foreclosure, I think, is the hardest list. And the reason I think it's the hardest list if you suck, and it's the best list if you know what you're doing, because everyone's saying the same shit. It has the same marketing strategies and the same everything to everybody. It's like, do you want an offer on your place? Like,
Mhm.
do you want to sell your place? Like, I want to buy your house. Like, me and my partner want to buy another house. And regarding what the list is, that's what they want to. That's what they have their VA, or if they're calling themselves, which
Yeah.
you shouldn't be cold calling yourself. But if you are, like that's what they're getting, and they hear the same thing over and over and over again. And if you say something different, because like, what am I going to say to a vacant property? Like, what are your plans with the house you're looking to sell? Like, how you're not like that different. But if I come off as like, I'm willing to fucking help you in your situation, like, is there anything I could do to help? That's different.
Mhm.
And I just felt that, and this is what Nick taught me, Nick Devine, not Nick Barrows.
Yeah.
So I worked for Nick Devine for 6 or 7 months, and he's so fucking good at sales and great over the phone. And he was like, dude, start with pre-foreclosures. This is what we'll do. And I kind of just grew from there and got better and better and better. And that's how it is. So I come up to the door. I'm like, all right, call them up. I'm like, hey, is there anything I can do to help? That's what it is. And I've separated myself where I get people in my system that don't want to sell their place, but they're going to have to sell their place. So everybody who's calling them, asking them to buy their house, they ain't going to fucking entertain. But the second, no, I work with them about trying to get a modification or exploring a refinance or something like that, or a payment plan with the town or the HOA, and that doesn't work out, and they realize they have to sell their house, who are they going back to? The one that tried to fucking help them out.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, it's a double-edged sword, because I've had so many homeowners just that I've helped that have thanked me for like, I appreciate you like for doing this. Like, you haven't charged me anything and you're giving me good advice. Now I think I will start to like add on to this as well, because I get a lot of people that want to do like loan modifications but don't know where to start or don't have the money for an attorney. I'll offer like a service that is paid where we'll do all the like the paperwork for them. Just to, like,
Smart.
because I got so many people that can keep their house, and if I think they can do the modification, like let's say they were out of work for 6 months or back to work, they had a medical injury and they weren't making the payments, but they can easily make the payments going forward and it makes sense. I could help them with the modification, still make money on it. When
Mhm.
they don't have like the money up front for an attorney, but they do got like $500 that they could slide me and I'll help them with everything, the modification.
Smart.
That's what I guess I like pre-foreclosures better than everything else, is because you could really separate yourself and be different. And I think if you're doing it the wrong way, you'll find very little success out of the 15, 20 contracts, that I've contracted homeowners under in pre-foreclosure. I'd say like maybe 2 or 3 of them actually had intentions of potentially either wanting to or planning on selling their house.
Mhm.
The other 15, whatever, however many it's been, they did not want to sell their house. And you had to lead them to exploring selling. That's what it's been. So that's why I think the pre-foreclosures are great, is because I can do this at 18. Like, I'll make 75, 80K this month.
Mhm.
And I can make that money just from helping pre-foreclosures out, where I don't think I could. Well, I get so deep in my spreads too, where it's like our average deal 60 grand. It's
Mhm.
stupid. But I can get like so deep. I can make good money. I can help a lot of people out too. So I think it's a win-win, and that's, I guess, where I want to grow my niche as well, just pre-foreclosures.
Gotcha.
Interesting. So I'm gonna just real quick. I know we'll dive back into the rest, but it's funny you say that about offering service because we have a deal right now in Wolcott. That the guy, they're like, ask Marcos. We were at their house till like 9:30 the other night. They're so sentimentally attached to this house.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god!
Yeah,
I got something to. I keep going.
Yeah,
I got
it's like
great.
they're so sentimentally attached, but it's pre-foreclosure, but they're not gonna keep the house. Like
Does it have an auction on it?
not yet. So we're gonna get the deal. Like they're not gonna end up keeping the house. We're gonna end up wholesaling it, but the house is like shot. Like that's my they have so many outbuildings and like attachments they put onto the house and need to be torn down. The house is fried. The well's in the basement. It has fuses, knob and tube, everything you don't want in a house. This house has, right?
Yeah.
The roof's like the fucking caving in, but it has a cesspool. So everything you don't want, this house has.
Sure.
So but the guy, I was on the phone with him after we did the meeting. I gave him the offer, and he was like, man, he's like, I know I have to take this offer, but he's like, just give me one more week. I'm trying to work something out with Rocket Mortgage. Give me a second. Let me see what I can do. And I'm gonna call him tomorrow. And I know he's like, listen, this is me shooting in the dark, but it's just like, if you start that service, and if he could end up doing a loan mod someday, or if I find sellers that could, I'd refer them over to you if you have that service because. Sure. Help people out. This guy's not. They're fried. Like this. There's no saving.
Here's what I would say. I've heard. I got actually two. I'm happy you said the last part too.
Yeah.
I have two examples of this. So one, the first pre-foreclosure deal I've done. I've done one on market short sale, which was my first deal. The second deal I did was in Newington. This crazy lady.
Yeah.
She was attached to this place. I spent 6 fucking hours at her house.
Yeah, that's crazy.
6 hours.
I've been there before. Yeah.
6 hours where she was like, my family's legacy, and she was obsessed with this fucking house. She was like, my family's dignity, my grandparents. I'm letting down my grandparents, my parents, and my grandparents' parents. Yeah. It's like this house has been in the family for 60, 70 years. Yeah. And this lady finally has to let it go, and she's like, I can't do it. So I got Nick. This was when I was 2 months in.
Yeah.
It was in September. I got Nick down there to close this lady. We closed her at a good number. Probably would have made 50, 60 grand.
Yeah.
We do a lot of innovations. That's mainly what we do. But anyways, this deal ended up falling out because she was crazy. And essentially she wouldn't drive to the courthouse. She wouldn't let us drive her to the courthouse to file a motion to extend the auction because we got her like 6 days before the auction. Yeah. And essentially she wouldn't do any of that. Mm-hmm. So, and she had an attorney that she would fucking verbally abuse on the fucking phone that followed a withdrawal of appearance at the last second. So he wasn't attached to it. And like, we're not attorneys, so I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? We call it Joe Mash. Joe Mash was like vacation, so he wasn't like, the timing kind of sucks.
Golfing with his wife.
Yeah. So like, we didn't really know what to do here, and it just went to foreclosure. But the good thing that came out of this, and I have a point here and a point after that as well, that we learned from this deal, and we didn't do it on this deal because why would we deal with this fucking lady? If she's clawing and nailing now, it's like, I don't want to fucking deal with you. Yeah. So it kind of sucks. It was my first deal, but I locked one up 2 days after, which also filed a contract. So it's like my first 3 deals all filed a contract.
It's a numbers game, man. It is.
So I've had, I think, 4 deals filed a contract, and 3 of them were my first 3.
Yeah.
So
that's a pain.
Dude, it's fine. That's the name of the game. But anyways, we consulted with an attorney. Not a lot of people know this. You can still close on a property after it goes to foreclosure sale. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's like a grace period or something like that, right?
You gotta know what you're doing, but you can still do it. Yeah, and you gotta know like when to do everything. And like the deal I'm doing in Brookfield right now, we're doing the same thing. We're closing on it after the foreclosure sale, and we learned how to do that from that deal. We didn't even know we knew it was like possible, but don't know what to do or who to do it with, and that's what that taught us. So again, those little kicks in the nuts in business, like that's a $50,000 mistake. Yeah. But that's your fucking MBA right there. Where off that one mistake that we didn't know how to do it, or that one lesson that we learned, I probably made like we hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions, like long-term millions of dollars off that one mistake. Yeah. Just from that one deal. Yeah. That similar story. She had so much attachment to the house, clawing and nailing. And I want to say something after that as well. He was like, yeah, I'm going to try one more thing for a week. Yeah. Time, you know this too. Time kills all deals.
Oh, of course.
I had the same fucking thing where it's like, I like your offer. It makes sense. I'm going to try this one thing with the bank. Yeah. Now you got to dig deeper. You got to figure out what they're doing. So you contract them then.
Yeah.
Strike while the iron's hot, because you wait a week, turns into 2 weeks.
I know.
turns
I
into 3.
tried like everything in my cap to
Yeah.
get him, but he's like, listen, man. He's like, he's like, I like you. I appreciate you guys coming out. So he's like, I just love this house so much. And I was like, dude.
So what is he trying to do with the bank?
So he's trying to work something out with Rocket, and it's not gonna work. He was like, yeah, they offered me an extension or whatever it was, but I was like, listen, it's Rocket. I've dealt with them for years. They are the hands down them and Serve Bank are the 2 worst banks to deal with, especially when foreclosures on.
Fuck New Res too. New Res with short sales fucking sucks.
Oh, I did a short sale in Plainville one time, and it was a horror because. Yeah, I forget the name of the bank.
I kind of stay with Nick Devine loves like those weird deals.
I hate short sales. I will never do one again if I can avoid it.
If you got something, let us know.
Yeah.
So what we do, instead of doing a short sale, we'll buy their deed and get a limited power of attorney and do it ourselves. So instead of it taking like 4 or 5 months, it takes like.
That's what he was. I got lunch with Nick, Joe Mazzucaro, and Warren. What's his last name?
I don't know.
Yeah, something. But
Warren got a deal in Middletown, and I'm actually kind of pissed because I know it's Warren.
Yeah.
So there's this lady in Middletown. I was good deal too.
Yeah.
And Warren like came in, and I knew this lady was gonna work with somebody else. She was because I could have contracted her then and there.
Yeah.
But she didn't have email, so I was on the phone with her. So I was like, fuck. I tried to meet up at the place, but she was like ducking appointments. We were supposed to sign at one number, then she was sick, and then we signed at another number. She was ready to go, and then she's like playing these fucking games. Like, I just want more, essentially. And I kind of stuck firm at my number, and she's like, well, let me think about it more. It's like I couldn't do anything because I couldn't really press the issue because she doesn't use email, so I can't strike all the irons hot on the phone.
Yeah.
So she ends up calling this direct mail piece from Warren. And then Warren like walks the house, and Warren offers her way too fucking much.
Yeah.
I don't know where Warren got these numbers from, but and I know it's Warren too because I asked her the company. Very nice lady too.
Yeah.
But Warren's offering her like $350. It's like, dude, if I were to wholesale it, if I novate this thing, I might get like $320.
Yeah.
$330. So I was at $250.
Yeah.
I think if I wholesaled it, probably like $280, $290.
Yeah.
But novate for $310, $320. Warren's offering a $350 cash, all this shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
Did he novate it or did he close it?
I haven't seen anything, and like the case is kind of. I think there's actually another defendant in the case
Really?
that like, I didn't know about. So like she might be underwater.
Okay.
So like it might be a dead deal, which is good that I didn't waste time on it.
Yeah.
But, like I haven't seen anything. This was like a month ago, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not on the market, and I've been trying to call her just to see how she's doing, and I haven't heard anything from her. So.
Word. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet, man. Sweet. So yeah, I'm gonna I'll kind of transition us into our next segment. So basically,
Well,
go ahead.
You said you made a comment. You said that what you're doing differently is you target pre-foreclosure because the sense of urgency is a lot higher versus maybe like a vacant building. And so that's but you're saying with that comes a little more competition, and you're saying to distinguish yourself, you're going straight for the door knock, right?
That's where I was going. Pivoting.
I'll call too. Like
you made a comment. You said that if you're cold calling, or you said something like you shouldn't be cold calling. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So I meant just in general, you shouldn't be cold calling. Like you shouldn't be the one cold calling.
That's what I said.
That you should have cold callers.
Mm-hmm.
Cold calling is a waste of time. Now, I've done cold calling.
Yeah.
That's where I started out, where it was like, again, that got me good. Like every single second I worked with Nick, it was either door knocks or cold calls.
Yeah.
And I still did deals. So it's possible, but I think it's more efficient. So what I'm doing right now is I have appointment setter cold callers that are calling pre-foreclosures up, saying like, hey, we noticed the bank's a hard time. We're a bunch of foreclosure relief specialists. Would you be against a conversation about your options?
US based or Filipino based?
I use online jobs PH just to get a
we do the same thing. Yeah.
Because that's where it's good, man. Like Upwork's for short term, and then just an online like $4 or $5 an hour type deal. So it's like an appointment setter, setting appointments. You can cold call yourself. Like I've done deals like cold calling myself, but I think most of my deals have came from door knocks.
Yep.
It's just better.
Mm-hmm.
But
gotcha.
Okay, you got to not be a pussy. Door knocking pre-foreclosures, you knock 100 doors, you'll run into a bunch of different characters. a lot.
Got you.
That's facts.
Now,
Yeah, you should not be. But I was saying that you shouldn't really. You get to a point like cold calling's inefficient. Have cold callers for you, or have different marketing channels just besides you cold calling yourself.
Yeah.
Because it don't fucking work, dude. It's too much time.
It's a lot of time.
You want like qualified people across you. Like you'll miss out. Like me cold calling myself. Like maybe I'll get a deal that my cold caller wouldn't have brought in, but you're wasting your time just talking to a bunch of people who are have it figured out or don't want to hear like a second of your time. So it's not worth your time to cold call yourself and just have cold calls.
And the amount of hangups and no's you get just trying to get like a decent conversation, it's just like you kill hours.
Well, I think it's funny. Like you do. And like, dude, your time is your most valuable asset. That's why like me at 18 years old doing this, it's like I get people that are worth 8-9 figures telling me, I wish I was in your spot.
Yeah.
Because you're young, you're hungry. But the most value, the thing that you have that I don't have, I'm 40, 50, I'm worth $100 million. Yeah. But
time.
You're 18.
Time.
I
Yeah.
would kill to be 18 again and grind it off because I started when I was 35 or 36 or 40.
Time is the
number one asset.
That's the asset, man.
Got you. So strategies, door knocking, more people should try it. Definitely, I do want to dive into more about your door knocking approach, but you also mentioned, I want to ask you if you want to share, you also have your own operation. Where do you guys get most of your deals?
Really just relationships. I have agents that reach out to me. I have other, I mainly do flips. So I have other flippers bring me a deal and I'll manage it and help fund it as well.
Got you.
My business is mainly relationship based. Right?
Got you.
You know, I've gotten a deal. My most lucrative deal has been a door knock deal where I drove by and I actually tried to get the house. I tried to cold call the house. I noticed that the dude lived in Massachusetts. So I drove by the house and the garage was open. And I saw mass plates. I was like, he's probably there. I knocked on it, signed him that same day. That was the easiest close ever. That was the easiest close ever.
That's a
I
win.
love it, bro.
Closed in 2 weeks.
I was thinking about that too when I'm driving. Like I got a door knocking route. Like I was door knocking before this too. So it's like
Legend.
Yeah.
Anything in our area? Or are you just like coming down?
Oh no, I live up in Simsbury, bro.
Okay. Oh, you do live in Simsbury. That's right. Okay.
So no, I was in Burlington, and then I thought Burlington was closer.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, I'm like, shit, I'm like 25 minutes away. I'm like, fuck, I thought I was
Burlington's
like
close to Bristol because there's no like quick access from Burlington. So you got to go through Bristol to get to Plainville.
No, so I hit like 1 or 2 in Burlington. I woke up like I was up so late last night just working. So and I know it's like an excuse because I like to wake up early, but it was whatever. I hit a couple doors and I have a mapped out plan after this. But what I do want to do is start like all those shit boxes just on them in the meantime, just knocking them. So my CRM, and I'll pull it up right now to show you guys.
What do you use for your CRM?
We used to use InvestorFuse. I just use Podio.
Really?
I just use Podio because it's so customizable.
Luke was big into Podio towards the end. We used Zoho, then we switched over to Podio.
Yeah. So what I do is I have like a little door knock system.
Yeah.
And like for example, I'll show you guys as well. So I'll just like address first knock. If it's a pre-foreclosure, the judicial site link, like what happened on the knock, and then all these notes like knock, did I reach some, staying in touch, do I believe it to be vacant, does it need probate, like information about, I probably should take this shit away because it doesn't matter, like information about if they're appearing in court, attorney, all that stuff, and then just like what I want to do I want to continue to like follow up with them? Do I have an appointment scheduled? Should I just cut them off, or have they withdrawn their case? Do I have it all figured out? Something like that. So and I'll have that at the door where it's like I'm in my car, I'm at the door, address, JD, like time of the knock, just go knock the door.
Okay.
What's a CRM and how important is it to have a well-organized CRM?
Very important. So a CRM stands for customer relationship management, I think.
Yeah.
Ballpark.
Yeah,
right?
manager,
Yeah, manager, whatever. Those little like management, whatever it is.
Same thing, yeah.
But it's so important where when I first started, and like Nick used a CRM, but I kind of told Nick Devine, I'm like, a different Nick Devine. I told Nick, I'm like, dude, I'm working for you just so I can learn. Like, I'm not going to work for you forever. I want to do something on my own. I kind of want to grow something ground up. If you like, and I worked on commission for 10% with him, which is very important. That's for another story. Like why working for somebody at the start. I know you work for Luke Florian.
Yeah.
That's the best way to start, where it's like you learn how to actually do it. I think work with or work for somebody that knows what they're doing at the start. And I told Nick that. He's like, yeah, it's cool. I'm like, let me kind of learn how to grow something on my own. So I I started on Google Sheets. Google Sheets, and it was very unorganized. And I wasn't doing follow-ups, and I was doing deals, like I was getting contracts, but it wasn't as consistent. I remember business is about getting kicked in the nuts and learning from your mistakes and putting your ego aside and learning that like, hey, I got to grow. I got to change something. And I was like, it was like, there was a point where I spent like a month without even locking up a deal. And I'm like, fuck, like, what do I need to change? And I was like, let me build on Thanksgiving, I spent all of Thanksgiving, like, fuck my family, fuck all that shit. Like, let me build something out where I have all my door knocks, like, as a system. There's like a system where it's like follow-ups to like, okay, how many times I've hit this door, or what's happened? Like, do I want to hit this door again? Like, I'll put it in a spreadsheet where it's pretty elaborate, where it got to the point where the next 2 months I locked up like 6 or 7 deals just from making that change. So that's a great question, because it's so fucking important to have something in place that's organized where I have something where I know, okay, I hit the store once, nothing happens, I gotta hit it again, right? But if you don't have something in place where how many times I've hit the store, like what's going on, like what happened when I hit the door last, or like where are they, like do I have their number in my CRM? I gotta scrape for their fucking number. Like no, something concrete, something good, where it's consistent to the point where it just makes everything a lot easier. Where you don't have to be looking around for a lot of things. The organization side of just the data. I didn't change the data. I just changed the organization, and I went from doing like the last 2 months before that, I locked up 4 in September, which is my first month where I locked up deals. None in October. I did 1 like in November, but it was like end of November. I'm like, shit, I don't have any leads in the pipeline. I don't have anything brewing. I think in December and January combined, I locked up like 6 or 7 deals. So it was just that one change of the organization side, and it just took off from there. So it's very important. So
I like that. Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I'm literally gonna swap our state. We used Zoho for a while, but then we moved everything. I got tired of Zoho, so we moved everything back into Sheets. I've been looking for a new CRM.
Do you use Sheets?
Well, we used to use Zoho, but I got tired of Zoho.
I like, dude.
I know,
dude. Sheets are slept on.
But see, we have it like, it's not just like we have it like templated, right? So it's like there's like, it notifies me, like I have it like it's nice. But now I want to like go back to a CRM.
Use Podio, man.
I used Podio with Luke for a while, and I fucking hated it because it's like it was so anal, and I was like, I knew you can customize it, but I was like, I have PTSD because Luke, bro, when I was like towards my end of time with Luke, we got so like granular with like the KPIs and like tracking everything. When I like talked to a lead, there was like 30 boxes I had to fill out after, and I was like, I fucking hate this.
That's what I used to do, and it's like I was showing you my thing as well, where I got to remove some of those boxes that is like so fucking anal. Where it's like, yes, it's important, but
I know. I told him, I was like, are you sure we have to fill out all these? He's like, yeah, it's super great for tracking. And I was like, but I'm filling out the same thing in like 5 different ways. I'm just like, remove some of these boxes. It's like time consuming. So it
takes up time, bro.
It takes up so much time.
That's where like a lot of people, and I know Luke's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's not only systematizing and like making a good on-call SOP, having a good off-call SOP too. So you guys know what an SOP is? Standard operating procedure.
Explain it for the short.
An SOP is essentially your process and procedure for example, on call versus off call. So on call, it's your sales process. What are you saying when X leads in the door? How do you talk to them? Your sales process, to keep it simple. Your off call is what do you do off call? So it depends on your marketing strategy. If you got inbound, you're waiting on another lead in the door. What do you do in the meantime? If you're doing outbound, if you're cold calling, or you're just ripping through like leads your cold callers have brought in your system. Like how do you efficiently either get from the next lead, or what do you do in the meantime or the downtime?
And what's the benefit of having this?
Yeah, so having a good, everyone has an on-call SOP, like what they do on the call, like a process, a sales process, whatever it is, a script. Having a good off-call SOP, what it does is it effectively allows you to maximize your output in your given work hours. So let's say I'm doing inbound, right? I got lead coming in here, but what do I do until the next lead comes in? Okay, I'm doing XYZ, right? Great. So I can maximize in my work hours, right? And this is good for your, like as a business employee, like as a business owner, I fucking work all day, every day. So it's not an issue keeping myself in check, but making sure I have something outlined for my sales reps where, yes, this is what you do if a lead's not in the door, or if you're like between calls, like how do you efficiently get from next call to like from call 1 to call 2 with saving the most time because that time adds up. And a little analogy that I use is like, even if you're wasting 10 seconds in between, let's say, like I have my guys starting off on cold calls, right? Let's say you waste 10 seconds between each call that you could shorten down. That's 10 seconds. Let's say you can make 30 calls in an hour. That's 300 seconds. Let's say you make calls for 8 hours a day. That's 2,400 seconds a day. Let's say you make calls for 30 days in a month. 72,000 seconds that you're wasting. Divide that by 60 for minutes. That's 1,200 minutes. Divide that by 24 for hours. That's 50 hours you've wasted in a month. Just from spending 10 seconds where you're inefficient on your process. So you're saving, you could save, that's 50 hours is a lot of fucking time. You could save that time just by being efficient for 10 seconds between calls.
That's actually a great way.
That's a great analogy. You mapped it out. It's good.
I know. That's 50 hours, dude.
That's a lot of hours. And that's the thing.
That's 2 fucking days you're saving. Just from saving 10 seconds in between calls. That's why having an off-call SOP is important, where you lay out something. And I'm still trying to make mine better too.
Yeah.
But instead of making 30 calls, you can make 40, right? And you're like, those 300 seconds you could spend dialing another person. So you got an extra 50 hours in the month. And there's only like, how many hours are there in a month? Like, let's say like 24 times 30, right? Yeah, 720 hours in a month. You're saving 14%. I don't know if I did the math right there because that just seems like too high. But even so, you're saving a lot of fucking time just not spending time on bullshit. Yeah, essentially, that's what it is.
Speaking of this I know we got to move on to the next topic. But just in terms of wasting time, has everybody ever? We're not sponsored, mind you. Has anybody ever heard of Brick?
No.
It's called a Brick for your phone. Basically, what it does is I notice myself like in the middle of my day, like I'll just like, and Marcos can attest, I'll be doing something and then I'll just immediately pull up like a social media app. So what a brick does is you actually have to go tap your phone to it to use certain apps. I was thinking about getting those. I know, right?
Dude,
crazy.
Send me that. I need that, dude, because like again, I'm very disciplined with like not going on social media, and that's what I rip into like everybody for, where you're wasting time on social media, like all that stuff. And it's just not like
I catch myself like randomly doing it. So
dude,
if I had a brick, I'd just be like, if I put it like across my house, I know if I'm like in the middle of something, I'm not gonna fucking just go tap it. So I think for me at least, because like there's so many times throughout my day I'll catch myself. I'm like, why am I doing this? So I was like, I gotta.
I actually use an app called Opal, right?
I've heard of that. Yeah.
And I have it set times, right? And you can set what apps you can block and whatever the case may be. So,
but if you're down bad enough, you could go in the app and change it.
No.
Here, you can up a little bit.
You can set the modes, right? You can set the difficulty, right? Mm-hmm. If you set the difficulty to like the highest, right? It won't let you. You can't go into the app. The only way to do it is to delete the app. And once you delete the app, you got to then re-download the app, set everything up all over again. So it's a pain in the ass to delete the app.
Well,
I did it once. It was a pain in the ass to ever do it again. You set time limits. So like for me, it's like I have like an hour and 30 minutes. So like
that's a lot.
30 minutes of like throughout the day. I mean,
that's too much, dude. Mine would be like 15
minutes
on social media.
Well,
if you're also like you said, them 10 seconds add up. Especially when you're going around to a lot of meetups and stuff, or you just generally open it real quick, you share something, or you keep stuff going. Sure. It piles up fast as fuck. Sure. Between Facebook, Instagram, all them stuff, it gets real. Like, I'll be looking at my phone, like, damn, an hour already?
Yeah.
No, like an hour and a half.
Especially when we upload stuff for YouTube. It's not, you don't upload it in 60 seconds.
Oh yeah, no, that should be taking us time.
Yeah, when you're scheduling posts too, moving forward, or when we were posting on, we tried posting on different platforms, but like the time limits were 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And you would be like, I hated getting to the, halfway. It's fucking, hold on one second. I'm speaking and then I hear myself and then there's a delay and I hear myself again. It throws me off.
Sure. You can probably hear me pretty good in the headphones.
No, you guys sound great.
We just got that mixer and it's like Marco said, it's top quality.
That's sexy as fuck.
Isn't it?
I freaking like it.
We're trying.
But I get you.
bro.
I set my timers high because
it was
it takes a while
Yeah, no,
to upload shit.
I set it high, but yes, you can set it for the time. And mine's is like I can't use social media at all during the morning. The only thing I don't have a time limit is podcast, and those go outside of that, like my podcast and like YouTube. Because YouTube, like
YouTube's like for our
YouTube a lot.
our brand too. Like we're biggest on YouTube, which is why like all this content goes on there.
Yeah.
No, so I do want to pivot. I want to keep us going. Navigating. So this entire what we want to talk about this pod was like navigating strategies. So as a lot of people know, right now we're in a tough climate in terms of real estate, just any business. Everything's losing money left and right. People are pivoting left and right? So like, I guess what we want to talk about is what are some ways you guys are kind of pivoting, changing up your business model?
Before we go to that, like, what are the biggest challenges? And it's great.
Challenges
great
first.
That you have you're more in the wholesaling scene and you're entering the flipping scene.
Innovation.
You've been in the flip. So it's like you have two great perspectives. What are your guys' biggest challenges today that you're facing?
I don't look at it as like a challenge. It just I don't see it firsthand, because I think my business model, and it kind of ties into the next question too. My business model, it is good for bad and good economies, because no matter what, people are going to be in foreclosure.
Yeah,
nature of it, shit happens.
So
and
then
like, we've been in a rough, but like not horrible, the last recently, where we've had a lot of foreclosures. Now that we might be going into a recession,
you see a lot more,
which is good, because I can have a lot more people to help out, which I think me learning this niche is fantastic.
Okay. So let me define challenges. Let me use a different word.
Sure.
What are some factors that you're seeing come into play that are forcing you to maybe do things differently or have to re-strategize, forcing you to pivot? I want to know what you guys are kind of seeing, what you're facing, and what are you doing to combat some of that adversity?
I'm gonna let Brian answer that first.
So I mean, like, the biggest thing for me, especially on the flipping side, is what I'm facing right now is knowing how many deals I can handle at once and being able to take a hit if the market does pull back 5 to 10% within the next 6 months.
You're telling me about this too.
Yeah, because I'm not too sure. I know it's going to level out or something's going to happen. Now, I don't want to have, like right now, I probably have like 6 going on, right? And a couple under contract. So when my thing is like gauging a when to say no. I had someone to bring me a deal, which was a pretty good spread. And I had to say no because I was like, I don't want to over leverage myself. And then in six months, when I go to sell.
Why not wholesale it?
It was a wholesaler bringing it to me, so I can't.
Daisy, fuck daisy chain.
No, I couldn't fuck that.
I don't like daisy chaining at all.
Someone daisy chained our deal. We didn't know they daisy chained our deal until like the day of closing, and I was like, damn.
That's a good daisy chain.
That's a good daisy chain. I was like, damn. I was like, all right, you made your money.
You can do that. You can do that.
Yeah, so smooth.
I don't like it, but like, I'm not gonna pull a Dan and be like, well, I don't do my dispo, so I don't worry about that stuff. And if they do, it's whatever. I still got the number that we agreed upon, and that's fine. But if you're gonna say you're gonna daisy chain or not gonna daisy chain, you're the buyer, and then you're gonna daisy chain.
Yeah, they told us they were the buyer, and I was like, oh, cool. And I got to know this person, and then like they daisy chained it like day of they closed someone else closed it, and I was like, huh. I was like, you did all right. I mean, I did fine, but I was like, you guys, like, fuck. I didn't think there was any more room on the deal. Like, that's what gets me. So
that's why like I don't do my dispo.
That's smart.
Because that deal we're making 110 off of.
That's a good spread.
It is. I ain't finding somebody for 110.
Yeah.
I'm finding somebody for 50. 60.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's a good deal.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking going at 50, 60. Yeah,
so what does this guy do? Well, I will say it off camera. We'll say on top. So I'm curious what he does for dispo. This different than like that's a good spread.
You're a good dispo guy. So so the good thing is the contractors in the area that they do, and that's what being a dispo guy is. And that's why like I pay him 30%.
Yeah.
So it's like of 110, 30% of that's 75, 80, 70, whatever the fuck it is. So instead of making 60, doing all the work for dispo, I'll make more.
Yeah.
Not doing the work.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing about it. And also, so he a good dispo guy knows contractors in the area that are doing, and you could work with a shitty dispo guy too. That just does dispo, and that's what all these kids like. Dude, I'm 18. I know kids that are trying to get into it. I want to do dispo. I want to dispo.
I don't want
to do dispo.
Don't get me fucking started, man.
My ass is lazy enough where I don't want to fucking lock up deals. I hate acquisitions. I just want to do dispo. Like pussy.
Go into it. You said
I'm not naming names. I know we're not going to name names, but there's.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're
talking
about
too. With like,
but generalize
for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. You know what's funny? I had the thought cross my mind. I was like, I should hit him up again. But they message me all the time.
Dude,
generalize what's going on.
Okay, so basically people who want to get into the business. So I go to a lot of meetups and everything that, and I'm not trying to sound conceited. That's not my goal here. But like we're at a point now where people come to us asking for like mentorships, or asking for like advice, and
especially from young kids. I get it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm doing deals young. It's like everyone hits me up. Like I don't have an issue with them, but it's like the bullshit they were playing, posting the shit they were on social media.
That's what gets me, and that's initially. But that's initially for me. For me, that's why I didn't take them on, because they wanted a mentorship, they wanted all this stuff, and I was like, for me, I was like, I can't. And then they kept coming to me with questions.
People really don't want it.
Yeah,
people really don't.
It's a lot of work.
People just like the idea of it.
I have something great for this. I want to bounce off before we get to what we're going to. I'm 18. Nobody my age is really, not a lot of people are doing what I'm doing at 18 because they want the success. They want it, but they don't have the why, right? So I've been through shit. So you got to turn that pain into fuel to drive you to be somewhere. Because, dude, all the kids my age, I'm getting so much shit from kids I went to high school with about like, what are you doing? Like, oh, it's a scam. Or like, everyone thinks that to be successful or to make money and to be rich, that you have to either be born into it or like get lucky, and that's what it is. Or like
sell a course.
Do something, do something illegal, and that's not what it is. Dude, I spent 15, 16 hours a day working for 5-6 months, and I didn't make a single fucking dime.
Yeah,
doing this. That's not normal. The people who do ordinary things will achieve ordinary results. Yeah. If you want to achieve something unordinary, same thing. You have to do unordinary things to achieve unordinary results, and that's why. Again, I could work my ass off. If you just, I promise you to anybody who's watching this, you can become successful. You can make money. And I'm starting to see it that you just gotta work hard towards something and like be honest with yourself. Yeah. Because I see kids all the time, and like one of my best friends, it's like he's been doing thing to thing for years. Yeah. He's like he wants to be very successful, and I think he will. Yeah. Right. You gotta pick something though. He has to put his ego aside. He's an action taker. Yeah. But he has to put his ego aside and realize that one, he's undisciplined. He doesn't work as hard as he should. Yeah. He very good visionary, a lot of ideas. Yeah. But he doesn't do what it takes. He doesn't take the next steps, and I'm ripping into. I love you, bro. You're my best friend, but you gotta change something. Yeah, that's what it is, and he doesn't see it because his ego's in the way, and that's like I've had more of like an ego death over the last couple months where, oh my God, I've never saw. I went through an ego death, so I'm not trying to take it away. Yeah. I went through ego death. It's funny, I never heard anybody else say that they went through one. I went through one when I first started working with Luke, and that's why I made so much money with him, because I went from. I'm sorry, I'll let keep. So I can build off of you. Bro. I went so basically, I used to have the same work ethic as your friend. I wasn't disciplined enough. I would kind of fuck around in the middle of the day. Wasn't really feeling it, right? But then I went through I read this book called Project 369, and I went through an ego death. I started journaling. I started really analyzing myself. And then I was like, yeah, I just suck. I was like, I'm not good at sales. Like, I don't work hard enough. I don't make enough calls. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to pretend I'm this person that I want to be, and I'm just going to become it. So what I did as I started calling nonstop, I started going on appointments. I went on appointments on Christmas Eve. I went on appointments on Thanksgiving. I went on appointments during holidays because that's when sellers were available. Dude, I as much as I could. Yeah. I don't take any days off. Yeah. I took the one days I've taken off have been Thanksgiving. Because nobody was picking up their phone. Yeah. I took Christmas off itself. Yeah. Which I was still working. I just wasn't making calls. Yeah. And then I'll take Easter off as well, because nobody's going to be on the phone those days. Besides those 3 days, I'm reaching out to sellers.
Let me ask you something real quick. Yeah. Because you both went through something pretty similar. I mean, everyone who ends up that we consider making it, they have a similar story. But you're at two different points in time. You said you never take days off. We've all been there. Yeah. You think that's healthy? Yeah. All this work-life balance bullshit. It's bullshit. If you want it bad enough, I don't give a fuck what gets in the way. I don't give a flying fuck about, I'm
the weather's, it's like, dude, I was out there door knocking. It's fucking 11 degrees out. In
I know.
December.
Oh.
And I'm out there fucking knocking doors, and these pussies, it's cold out.
Yeah.
I gotta be bundled up watching Netflix. Like,
Facts.
the 3 things that ruin, like, and Hermosi says this, and like everybody who doesn't love money? We all love money.
Mm-hmm.
You would be lying to say you don't. And everybody wants to make more money. And I want to be very successful. I have my reasons that I'll keep to myself. But the things that kill success are laziness, and it's, like, people work 9 to 5s. It's not what you do in your 9 to 5. It's what you do in your 5 to 9.
It's facts.
Like, I'm tired after work. Like, I worked a whole day. Like, okay, success don't give a fuck about excuses, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't give a fuck. Like, I'm tired. I don't give a fuck. Do you think I want to knock fucking doors when it's 11 fucking degrees out? Absolutely fucking not. But I'm doing it anyways. And this was still at a fucking point where I wasn't making any money.
Yeah.
I spent months doing this. I locked up deals, but they took a while to close. You get it too. Novations, they take a while. Probate, shit like that. They take a while.
I did a probate innovation. It took me 7 months
Fuck,
to
bro.
close it, bro.
Dude, I know.
And we made like no money. That's the even funnier part.
You still made like 30 grand, 38 grand, which is like not a lot, but it's like it's you still made something. You know what I mean?
we made some money. Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's what it was. Where I was working, and I like my good friend of mine's kind of the opposite of Ben. I shouldn't have said his name. You can cut it out. So, my friend, kind of the opposite of no, the kid that I was talking about before.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine. He lives down in Texas. This kid spent 6 months without even doing a deal, working his ass off, and he finally did his first 2 contracts this week. He'll make like 10, 15 grand this month. I'm like so proud of you, man, because you spent so long not working. You stuck with it. Most people, the thing that kills success is quitting. You quit because it's hard. That's what separates you from like, I'm going off in tangents, but I'm circling it back to everything. You guys know what the 80-20 is, right? 80-20 rule.
Well, explain it again.
So like 80%, essentially 80% of like 80% of like the people fall in this thing, or 80% of stuff fall in this thing, but the 20% of the outlier. There's also fractals within the 80%. Like you can break the 80% down to more. So it's like you get the 80-20, then you also have like the 64-5. Like you break it down more, like 80% of 80 and then 20% of 20. You break it down. And then you break it down even more. And that's where you get to the next level where everyone everyone in the 80% of everyone in the 20%, right? So you're 80-20, everyone in the 20%, there's another 80-20. And in that next one, there's another 80-20. So getting to the next level is that other 20% and the next 80-20. That's what we got to look at. And